Welcome, friends. I suspect most of you know me, but for anyone who's new tonight, my name is Heather Dale. I know a lot of you from my travels throughout the historical reenactment communities of the world. I've always loved the Middle Ages, the Renaissance, stepping away from the cars and computers of the 21st century and meeting with like-minded people who love the concept of chivalry, of personal courage, loyalty, and the sense of adventure that we get from the past. Well, let's go to the far northern reaches of Scotland. Those of you who have been to the ragged places of the north know that the wind rules, that the stones have tails, and that the fae folk live. Many people think that the fairy folk are simply little creatures who flit around in the garden. Well, those of us who know the old Celtic ways, we know that is not true. The fair folk are powerful. They live in the other world, just one step away from us. They watch us with curiosity, sometimes with malice, and sometimes with benevolence. You never know the mood of a fae until they appear and show themselves. I'll tell you a tale of when time had no meaning, when legend and history walked hand in hand, when the swords of the mighty had bested the dragon, but the elven still walked in the land. The sun and the moon were fixed in the heavens. The whole world grew weary as summer stood still. A queen of great courage and the heart of a dragon set her throne above the elf hill. White Rose, queen of the summer, White Rose, the queen of the fall. White Rose, the new guard will follow. White Rose, the old guard will fall. The queen on her throne called the elven before her and said, "Look around you, time should march on. I ask you to bow and make history the victor, for the day of your legend is gone." Her people approached her to offer their blessings, and each brought red roses to lay at her feet. And then the elven came forward to lay their last flowers, white as that summer's defeat. White Rose, queen of the summer, White Rose, the queen of the fall. White Rose, the new guard will follow. White Rose, the old guard will fall. Now the cycles of time weave the world in their circles, and that flower-crowned queen is among us again. But the elves have their place in the verses of legend and not in our history of man. White Rose, a queen of the summer, White Rose, the queen of the fall. White Rose, the new guard will follow. White Rose, the old guard will fall. I wrote that song many years ago for a queen who served in Eldamere and in the Middle Kingdom, known as Queen Caitlin II. Queen Caitlin I, long before our beauteous queen, our flower-crowned maid, had returned in new form. Caitlin I had been a young woman in the early days of the medievalist movement, back in the days when vampires might show up at one of our events, or elven folk from the verses of Tolkien walked amongst people who were inspired by Italian or German or English history. Queen Caitlin, who often was known to wear vampire teeth herself, took the office of queen very seriously. She was outspoken and remains so, But that day she made a hard decision. She chose to sit upon that throne and decree that elves and vampires and creatures of the supernatural should not be at our events. They existed elsewhere, and we were a historical society. And so she offered that should they come looking like humans, they should be welcomed. But that otherwise, perhaps it was not the place for them. It was a difficult thing to say. Many felt it was the wrong thing to say, but Caitlin kept to her. But Caitlin kept to her. But Caitlin kept to her decision. And with grace, she ruled the Middle Kingdom. When the day came for her to step down, it became clear that the other queens of the known world were so incensed by her that they would refuse to induct her into the Order of the Rose, a term of great respect for anyone who had reigned as queen. Many found that to be a great injustice, and so that day, as Queen Caitlin reigned for the last moments, people came throughout the day with red roses to silently place them at her feet, to show her that though she was being spurned, that many appreciated what she had done to shape the world to come. And it is said, though I was not there, that many humans who looked surprisingly like vampires and elves of old, but now were in fully human guise, many of them brought roses as well to honor Queen Caitlin, but they were white as the summer's defeat. This is one of the first songs that I wrote for the album. I wrote it in Arizona, of all places. Ben and I were on tour, and we're staying with a pair of medievalists who are very near and dear to us, Jonathan and Elora. And we had promised to write a new song inspired by chivalry, which is the code of knighthood, and all of the things that you do to defend the weak and to stay true to your vows and your ethics and all of these things that actually serve us pretty well if we stick to them in the modern day, even though most modern places don't seem to value them as much. And so this one I'm going to finish with, and it's called Carried by Honor. And as you pick up the chorus, I hope you'll sing along with me. It's been a real delight being able to share a bardic circle with you, spread out across the known world. And I hope we get a chance to do this again. When I was a child, I thought about nothing but valor and glory and victory's height. I started with little and built from it something I thought I would need when my time came to fight. I forged my sword from the steel of my kingdom. I fashioned my shield from the love of my kin. I'm carried by honor and dreams of a future made real with each battle I win. Made real with each battle I win. Whatever the need, I will join my companions to tear down the tyrants and all that they claim. I fight for our freedom, for king and for people. I welcome the burden of chivalry's chain. I forged my sword from the steel of my kingdom. I fashioned my shield from the love of my kin. I'm carried by honor and dreams of a future made real with each battle I win. Made real with each battle I win. A lifetime of service I willingly offer, the work of my hands and the words of my heart. I believe in a world where the weak are defended by all the sworn masters of chivalry's art. I forged my sword from the steel of my kingdom. I fashioned my shield from the love of my kin. I'm carried by honor honor and dreams of a future made real with each battle I win. Made real with each battle I win. Everybody, we forged our swords from the steel of our kingdoms, fashioned our shields from the love of our kin. We're carried by honor and dreams of a future made real with each battle we win. Made real with each battle we win. A rousing note to finish with. I hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful rest of the day, and take the joy that this music has hopefully instilled in you and spread it far and wide. Make other people smile with it. Thank you so much. You certainly made me smile tonight. And I look forward to seeing you the next time we do one of these concerts. Don't forget to drop by heatherdale.com to check out music. Send new people over who may need a little pick-me-up or some new Celtic music in their life. And always remember that your voice is worth listening to. Thank you, and good night. One more time.